Hi again. Right now, this is Thursday evening. I know this won't post for a couple more days. I used to be like 6 days ahead in recording because I started late and then I just backfilled. And every weekend, I basically take a sabbatical, Sabbath day rest, if you would, unplug. I don't even have my devices on. And once a week, you guys are catching up, and so we're getting close. All right, that aside, um, what we have here is why we're staring at the side of the Jackery unit is that the 4 panels were up 2 days ago. That was Tuesday. Wednesday, it was a rainy day, cloudy day. I saw on Tuesday evening, which I was finished right at sunset. So basically the sun was down, no sunlight. Sunset kind of hurts with the solar panels. You get nothing. As you know, I'm being funny, okay? Anyways, no juice. And I saw nothing registered. Then all day Wednesday, it was dark clouds, rain here and there, off and on. And I just cast it up to it's just the weather, and it has to get good solar, yeah, a good amount of sun to trigger it. There we go. Sorry for the lack of words. Like I said, this is just raw footage. I'm not editing it. My apologies if I offend you, but this is just a diary and a walkthrough. And those that are going to painstakingly in the future consider these things and want to jump through these videos, not all of them. I don't expect anybody to watch them all, except my friend there. But anyways, and I thank you for the encouragement. The point being is that you'll find out without any professionalism, influencer, whatever, this is real life usage and what the results happen to be. Even the ones that say that they are backwoods and they use Jackery units and stuff like that, when you search it out, they're an influencer again. This is not an influencer. Jackery paid me nothing, gave me no gifts. This is pure me. Anyways, the point being is, back to the story, is the fact that I was getting nothing. And today was an off and on sunny day. And every time the sun would come out for a good number of minutes, I'd run over to the unit to see what's going on, and nothing. And then I found out that what we have is a little switch on the side here. Not that I didn't know it existed. I knew it existed. Excuse me, Jack. You can't be part of this right now. Anyways, let's see if I get that in there right. Got my phone in there. There we go. That orange switch. Okay, so there are 3 settings: lock, off, on. And according to the manual, it suggested that you put it into the lock position. Definitely not off. Off is it charges by the 500X panels, and that's it. And I had it in the lock position, waiting, and nothing. Well, I decided to get my voltage meter out and take a look at, is there enough volts? Because remember, the minimum is 135. And so I got it out. It's a newly purchased one too, by the way. And not that for this, it was a previous project this year. Anyways, when I went to test it, it came in at 142. Boy, was I excited. So then I reattached all the cables, and I studied the panel. I'm not sure if you can actually see this, but let's take this light off here. Maybe that'll help a little bit. But the front panel here, there is a little indicator, and I'm trying to point to it. There you go, a little indicator here. It looks like solar panels. You probably can't see this, but if you look it up on the Jackery website, there's an H and an L that can appear on both sides of those solar panels. L, low PV, H, high PV. If they're both on, then you're pulling in from both sources. And I was not getting that. I was just getting the L. And then all of a sudden, I decided that I'm going to play with this switch again. And I had it on the on position Tuesday night and into Wednesday. And then I went online. The AI said it should be in the lock position. The manual appears to be in the lock position. And today, after the volt testing, when I reconnected it and everything was in the off, you have to have it in the off position or you're playing around with electricity, remember? And when I went to turn it to the lock, I said, no, let's try on. When I flipped it, I checked the front panel and we have both H and L now registered coming in, and I'm not going to touch that. It's what I wanted. So we have success, and it's encouraging because just on 4 panels up, let me tell you, the amount of wattage that was coming in was tremendous. From this morning, and I had meetings to attend and I couldn't play with it at all. Basically, when I had a moment that I could take a break, and it's encouraged that you don't sit in front of the computer 8.5 straight hours. You're supposed to have a lunch period. I do work remote, remember. Anyways, I didn't get to looking at it until the afternoon. So all morning long, on and off sun, and it went from 12% to 18%. I plugged those, got that panel working around 2:30 in the afternoon when I just took a 5-minute break, and I just tested it. That's all it was, as fast as I could test it and replug it in. That's when it was starting to pull in, and it went, the panel's off, but it jumped 10% more within 1 hour for charging. I can't wait. If tomorrow's going to be a nice day, that'd be great. These things could charge up real fast. So the Jackery units with just a 500X isn't sufficient to run a fish aquarium. But I will tell you this much. I am encouraged to try to get those other panels up outside, because if I can pull in off of just 4 panels, that much wattage, that was great. And what specifically? Because of the sunny period on the 500X, I was pulling in 800 watts. The total panels out there, there's only 4. They're 400 apiece. That's 1,600 potential watts. This thing registered over 1,600 watts at one point. Now that's the combination of the two. So I don't know if the Jackery 500Xs were pulling in 800 and the 4 panels were pulling in 800, but all I know is a combination went well over almost 1,700 watts was being pulled in. The max configuration right now, the 500Xs can pull in 500 watts each, which is 1,000 watts. And the max on the panels that are out there right now, just the 4 of them, another 1,600, so 2,600 to the max. The fact that I was pulling in 1,700 at one point and 1,600 a little more consistent when the sun was somewhat shining is definitely encouraging. So I can't wait to get the others up. So speaking of which, let's get out there and just give you a quick update here. I didn't get too far that I desire. I was hoping to get another panel up, but what I have constructed is temporary boards. The ones that are going horizontal, the 3 that we have here, the one up front, the one behind, and the one up top, those 3 will be permanent. Where the vertical posts happen to be on this side, those 2 have to be the ground dug into. I have a jackhammer for that, just like the other posts that are already existing. It looks like one post is going to end up in the yard. We'll have to be careful cutting underneath there the grass. It's going to be a tight squeeze there, but nonetheless, those 2 posts there are temporary, plus the board that's going horizontally just to keep it stable for now. So that's the next thing, is to get those 2 posts in there more permanently. What else? Okay, so I got a shipping announcement this morning. Why US Solar consistently has to process my order over a 10 to 15 day time frame, I have no idea, but it's on its way. It's supposed to arrive in a couple days, and that's going to give me those wires. That's all I need to do is get those MC4 wires and run those wires. And one other thing is that we're going with the 6 panels across. That would be 4 going into the yard, and I'm really not wanting that, because that leaves a very narrow way for me to get a wagon full of wood for winter in through this area. It's a very long way around, if you would, over the stony area here. You got plants, you got steps. I would actually have to run it up through there. And if I could get actually closer to the house instead with a wagon full of wood, especially when there's snow on the ground, the better. Because now I just climbed up a little bit of a incline. And when it's slippery ice, that's not going to be fun. I'm used to bringing wood down around, across the front and in. So what I'm thinking is, after I get those 2 panels, because I'm excited to get 2 more up there, I can't imagine what I'm going to be pulling in wattage. I'm thinking of turning them and putting 3 across so that it's not so far out, not so far down, because as it is, it's almost going to touch the ground. And when it's grass cutting time, my son's not so careful and stones get kicked up. And that's the whole reason why it's up in the air to begin with. So once we get, like I said, the 6 across the top, 3 across the bottom on its side, that leaves 1 more. And what I'm really hoping for, and because the plans have changed, is to actually try to turn 1 on its side and go close to the banister for the deck. Right now, if it was vertical, because it's on an angle, we're already with this one right up against the post. So that's why it has to be up further, turn on its side, and I'm hoping that it'll be even again with the rail here. I'm going to experiment with that, but right now all the focus is on that, those 2 on there. And once I get those MC4 cables, I can run it all the way from there, and we'll see what we get. All right, I know this was a lengthy one. Sorry about that. Just excited news that we're pulling on some juice. And I can't wait to have the entire basement at least on the Jackery unit and start kicking into the saving a little bit on the electric bill, let it pay for itself over time. Especially since the aquarium alone was on it for a mere 2 or 3 days in the past 2 weeks. It has not been on there because the weather has not cooperated. The 500X panels do not pull in enough juice when through an entire week when the sky does not want to cooperate. If it was sunny California or something like that, that's a different story. But for Pennsylvania, no. Absolutely not. So there you go. Over and out. Take care.